I love Jules Verne, I love H.G. Wells. My persona is the Tesla officer on the airship Albatross. Robar is my commander. No, I actually always liked the early sci-fi, the Earth to the Moon and all that kind of stuff, and then later got into Heinlein and all the more modern stuff.
And it's intricate and overly complicated, and there's actual art to it. I remember reading articles a while back regarding different design aesthetics and how this lowly, simple little iPod is now considered beautiful. But you take a look at some of the beautiful and gorgeous ornate filigree work in wrought iron, even just behind you at the booth directly behind you. And it's a very different aesthetic. And some people might consider that more beautiful, so it's also bringing that back. Everything's supposed to be so simple and streamlined while our lives are so complicated. But this looks really super complicated, but it does something really simple. It's awesome.
It is definitely getting more mainstream. Just last week on Glee, there was a girl wearing her top hat and everything going, "I used to be a goth, but now I'm doing steampunk." Now, of course, she meant it as, now I'm doing this weird cult thing that nobody knows about, the way goth is a weird cult thing that is outside the mainstream. But yeah, we're heading closer and closer to not just a movie like Cowboys vs. Aliens, but a movie that actually has steampunk in the title and acknowledges how steamy it is.
It's really funny. We're at this hotel and it's a steampunk convention, and a large number, unfortunately not me, do dress up, probably a higher percentage than most people. At the same time, there's some kind of business convention with a lot of people in suits, and they're the freaks. They're the ones that are really acting strange and like they never get out of their parents' basement or anything. I just wanted to be in an elevator with a bunch of steampunk people and one guy in a suit and ask him, "So what's your story? Why are you in a suit?"
When I was invited to help out, and I'm like, "What's steampunk?" And with either Ari or Gail said, "Captain Nemo in space."
Nice.
And I said, "Okay, I could deal with that." And at that point, I started. I've always had a great love of Victorian science and you understand the history of science.
Oh yeah.
The explosion of ideas, the working out of the epistemology, and so knowing the convention was coming up, I started boning up on all that and realized, oh yes, I have several of my science fiction ideas play very well here. So I wrote, that year I wrote Cold Duty, which is still my most popular steampunk story.
Well, I was really glad it happened, just in general, because I went to the one 2 years ago and was immensely saddened when it didn't happen last year. So I'm just glad it's going on. I'm looking forward to people watching. That was what I liked most last time. You just sit in the lobby and watch all the costumes go by and all the people doing new things, and I said this a whole bunch of times.
Basically, I love dressing up in funny clothes. It's all an excuse to make new outfits, new costumes, and to show them off.
Especially in steampunk, all of this crazy creative energy, these wonderful costumes and jewelry that people have come up with out of their brains, you know. And I think, oh, why didn't I think of that?
That's true, because steampunk has been around kind of in the background for a long, long time, and in movies, in TV shows. Yeah, and we kind of were doing that sort of. I had a costume that was sort of Victorian, but kind of time traveler-ish, kind of, and that was kind of. It was kind of a Doctor Who thing, but not quite Doctor Who. But you can take it and kind of make a character that way. It's just a great costume.
I would be actually happier if steampunk conventions were part of BayCon, LostCon kind of conventions than if they were standalone. Simply because I kind of enjoy hanging out with a lot of people rather than having it where we splinter. My other concern is that we retain critical mass to the point the hotels will talk to us. Having said that, though, I'm enjoying the heck out of this, and I'm very happy to have Nova Albion back this year.